My name is Frederick Robert Albrecht, December 14th, 1934. I was born at the Deaconess Hospital on East Jefferson Avenue, a few blocks away from the Bill Isle Bridge. I was the oldest son, and my brother Bill is 5 years younger than I am. We moved to Grosse Pointe in would have been 1942. I remember Pearl Harbor. We lived on Devonshire there, and then a few months later we would have moved from Devonshire, to Grosse Pointe, 1942. Yeah.
And where in Grosse Pointe?
To Merriweather, 336 Merriweather. The toy I remember most of all was that Lionel train set we had. And I remember my dad had built a large wooden table for that train that we kept in this little room on Devonshire. And to this day I remember on Sundays when all the relatives would come over, they would monopolize playing with the train. That I do remember was the most famous toy I had, was that train set. Summers were great. We had a little boat at the Farms Pier, a little 16-foot outboard with a 10-horse Mercury, and that's what I did most of the time. Was we would, or I'll go out with my dad and we'd go fishing in Lake St. Clair, and then going back of the Mount Vernon, which was all fields, playing. That's where we played baseball in the old days. Totally unorganized. There's no little league. There's no little league. We had fun just playing in the vacant fields, and also looking for snakes in that area. There were a lot of snakes, garter snakes all over the place. But football and baseball is what we, and in the wintertime, Farms Pier was skating. That's when the lake would freeze over. I haven't seen it frozen in years down there. We used to skate between the Crescent and the Farms Pier. It was always solid ice. I remember once going to the Punch and Judy as a little boy with my dad, watching a Lassie movie. And Lassie, the dog, got into trouble somehow, I don't know. All I remember was, and I was old enough not to cry, and I remember breaking down and crying during that movie because something happened to the dog, or was about to happen to the dog. I went to the old Kirby School, and then afterwards to Brownell. At that time, Brownell was in the high school. You call it South now, but 7th, 8th, and 9th grades, Brownell were in the high school.
It was called Grosse Pointe.
So I was there all of 6 years in that building.
And it was called Grosse Pointe High at that time.
It was called Grosse Pointe High, and before that it was Brownell was there in the same building. Oh, I played football, and also was on the swimming team. And those two sport activities really are not compatible in a way. When you play football, you got to be maybe a little bit heavier and stronger than you are when you're a swimmer.